Hey Calvary kids! Welcome back to Moving Through the Bible with me, Miss Lauren. Today is the last day of our unit on David. Let's do a little review. Does anyone remember the type of rulers who ruled over Israel before they had their first king, King Saul? Judges. The judges made decisions and helped guide Israel back to their faith in God when they lived in the Promised Land, but they needed guidance. Remember Hannah's son Samuel, the one she dedicated to God? He was a prophet and a judge for Israel, and he anointed the very first Israelite king, King Saul. But after King Saul disobeyed an order from God, God appointed a shepherd boy to be the next king of Israel. Does anyone remember what the shepherd's boy's name was? He eventually became the king we have talked about a lot in the last few weeks. King David. Before he was king, he defeated a mighty giant with a slingshot. Does anyone remember the giant's name? Goliath. Great job, kids. Today, we are going to look at Psalm 23. This is a very famous piece of scripture, or part of the Bible, that is a bunch of songs and prayers with more than one author. David wrote Psalm 23. Grab a place to sit crisscross applesauce where you can move around safely. Let's dive into this prayer. We need to find our telescope. Is it over here? No. What about over here? No. Ah, there it is. Let's hold it up. And there's David. Here we go. We stand up. We realize we are in Psalm 23. If you know the words, you can say them with me. But if you don't, that's okay. Follow along with our actions as we walk through it. We look around. The air smells fresh, and we see a beautiful pasture or grassy farmland with a little pond. We are at the start of it. We grab at our staffs. The Lord is my shepherd. I have everything I need. Big smile. He lets me rest in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. Shh. He gives me strength, and he leads me along right paths for his name's sake. Even when I go through the darkest valley, put your foot back, go like this. I do not fear danger, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff comfort me. Give yourself a hug like God's comfort. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Only goodness and faithful love will be with me all the days of my life. And I will live in the house of the Lord forever. It's time to come out of the Bible. We sit down and we close our eyes and we think about how great it is that God provides for us. Thanks for helping me read Psalm 23 today. Psalm 23 describes David's experience with God. And just like David, we can also experience God's love this way. He brings us to places where we can find rest and peace, and he shows us which paths to take. Remember, Jesus refers to himself as a shepherd taking care of his sheep. Jesus says he will gather his sheep from among the nations and welcome them into his kingdom. Because of Jesus, we know we will forever be in God's house and get to live with God forever. Have you memorized this unit's verse yet? Say it with me. The Lord will keep all of his promises. He is faithful in everything he does. That's Psalm 145, verse 13. We are done moving through the Bible today. Until next time, goodbye.